The following is a production of the Neighborhood Sports Network.
This is the NSPN Prep Update, a weekly look at scores, highlights, and stories from across the state. Hello and welcome to the NSPN Prep Update. I'm Ryan Phelps, coming to you this week from Chaska, one of the hosts for this year's NBA State Amateur Baseball Tournament, which started its 3-week playoff this past weekend. This week, we'll revisit a Townball game that featured some rare occurrences. This time, we examine a player from the Greenwald Cubs that played all 9 positions in a game. We'll also see what it takes to keep a Townball diamond in pristine condition. And we'll check in with a yearly basketball tournament to see what they had in store this year. But we start here in Chaska, where the 103rd Minnesota Baseball Association State Tournament got underway with a full slate of games. We find out what it feels like to put on a tournament looked on by the eyes of all amateur baseball fans.
I've been coaching, this is my 14th year, coaching the Cubs. Like I said, I played for Carver for 15 years. 1 year for Victoria. My son played here about 20 years ago and played for about 12, 13 years. And I was always here, a big fan, loved baseball all my life. And when John Seifert said it's probably time for him to maybe think about ending it, he said, would you like to do it? And I said, well, if you're not going to do it, if they want me. So that was 14 years ago, so I'm still here.
Coach Poppets knows that his squad has just as good of a chance to win a championship this season as any other team in the draw.
Any one of them could get hot, get lucky, get the best throwing arms, and anybody can win. You know, I don't think there's a true favorite. Everybody picks this team, that team, but I think when it comes down to it, you got to have a good pitcher that night, a couple key hits, make less mistakes, and anything can happen.
Poppets talks about the generational aspect of Townball in Minnesota.
If they're not from Minnesota, they don't know what they're missing, because I played it. I'm still here. I'll die doing it probably, but I love it. Like I said, I played, watched it, coached it. My father played it, so it goes back forever and ever. So I think it's still going strong. I think there's a little more teams getting better because we are losing some teams, and the best ball players from certain teams are jumping around, and makes for a very competitive league, competitive state tournament.
Another thing that makes Townball different from any other organized activity is the support of the fans, community, and in Chaska's case, a strong and involved board of directors, sometimes including people who have filled all of those roles, like Bob Repke.
I was the mayor of Chaska for a number of years, so we had a chance to look at the ballpark and help make it an even better place to play. And then after I was done with that, got a little more involved with the Cubs, and so we have a really good board of directors, and we kind of take care of the operations, the infrastructure of running the organization, and we let the team be the team and play the game, and try to keep those separate as much as possible. And
you also need a vision of what you want the ball club to be in the community.
The mission is to put a competitive team on the field. Do well and are profitable. We try to invest that back into the ballpark to make this place an even better place to play and for fans. And then the third piece, and really a growing piece, is we see this as a community builder. We bring the community down here, all ages, all interests, and we celebrate community. We bring nonprofits down here and promote what they do. And we kind of intermingle all that, and this has really been a community building experience for a lot of really good reasons. So the team is competitive. We're here in the state tournament. That's exciting. We invest to make this the best place it can be.
Part of what makes them the best is the food, as Justin Barrientos explains.
John, you want cheese? Yes. And onions?
It's a double, too. Hello.
Cheese.
Just regular burgers?
Our hamburgers are pretty good. They do a good job. They grease them down really good, and they taste real good up there.
We claim to have the best hamburgers in state amateur baseball.
So in 2008, we had a state tournament. We got this grill for that. We were kind of dabbling around with grilling and stuff then. And then we got this grill then. Same grill. And then we probably weren't very good at it in 2008, but we got better at it over the years.
It turns out the secret to a great burger sometimes starts with simple grill prep.
Yeah, we use pickle juice. I learned that from a guy that was in the military, right? And he's like, you gotta use pickle juice. I didn't know what he was talking about. It's like, it cleans it really good, it seasons it. I'm not a pro cook, I'm a baseball cook, right? But to keep the pores clean, right, so the burger cooks up good. And you figure with all the years of the seasoning and spices on this thing, you know, we talk about it all the time. Why can't this burger taste the same at my house, my buddy's house with a Blackstone? It doesn't taste the same, right? So it is really something how we can do that here.
Of course, you need the right ingredients.
But it's all local, right? Vanguard's cheese, and it's Swanson meat from St. Paul, so it's all local stuff. We use a really good pickle, the best pickle you've ever had, but it's not from Minnesota. But other ballparks make them in advance. Throw them in a bucket, and we throw a couple in, try to be ahead, but it's fresh, right? You take it off the grill, it goes on a bun, they're ready to go.
And customer service is the final, maybe most important ingredient.
And we're gonna stack 2 of these babies on there, is that right? You got double cheese. Is that gonna work pretty good for you?
I guess so.
All right.
That's a lot of food.
You want another bun?
Yeah.
All right.
Can I have another bun?
Here, right here, Dolores.
That would work.
Hold on.
You don't have to be perfect.
Well, we might not be. All right. Now we got it.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. He's a visiting fan, so we don't want him to be disappointed, because I don't believe this team's ever played here before. So we want to make sure he's happy. Everybody should be happy, not just visitors.
So I had to test it for myself, went out, we got one of the cheeseburgers. We'll test it out here and see how it looks. No onions, I didn't want any of that. Oh, that's a really good burger. So if you're coming out to Chaska, you got to make sure to get one of these burgers. They'll be hosting a game on Friday, the last week of the tournament. In Chaska, Justin Barrientos, NSPN.
As we head into the final season of Dwight Lundeen on the football sidelines for Becker, we now know what the future of the program will look like. The Bulldogs will turn to longtime assistant coach Håkan Bengtsson to run the program next year. Lundeen has been the only head football coach in Becker history, starting his 57th season this year. Under Lundeen's leadership, Becker has won 4 state titles and has been runners-up 5 times. Their first championship was in 2005 and their latest in 2024.
Knocked down, 30 seconds left in regulation time. Here's a break, over the line, shot, scores! Oh my, what a goal! And Burnsville has the lead.
I think that was Gus Bloom who got that puck, steals that puck, and he cuts to his forehand. He's the fellow that can really shoot it.
Former Burnsville and Minnesota Gopher hockey player Scott Bloom passed away on August 16th at the age of 58. Bloom scored the game-winning goal for the Burnsville Braves in the 1985 state championship and also won a state title in '86. Bloom went on to star for the Minnesota Golden Gophers and in 1989 was a part of their runner-up team in the NCAA tournament. He was also a 5th-round draft pick for the Calgary Flames in 1986. There's more to come on the Prep Update. We'll cut the grass and more with the people in charge of field maintenance in Perham. And we have coverage of the 2026 Gus Macker Basketball Tournament. And we'll head to the Southwest Metro with our school snapshot. But first, it's trivia time. Who won the first state amateur baseball tournament and where was it held? The answer and more after the break.
New journey.
Division 3 straight to Division 1.
New energy. Same standard.
The Tommies have climbed to the peak of the summit.
And your Pioneer Football League champions wear purple and gray.
No limits. Welcome to St. Thomas Athletics.
Built live, built on passion, built by the team behind the game.
Out to the corner for 3! The Irish are rolling! They take their first lead of the game!
NSPN, the Neighborhood Sports Network. Be a part of our crew as a broadcaster or camera operator. Email jobs@nspn.tv to inquire about employment opportunities.
Your trivia question was, who won the first amateur baseball state tournament and where was it held? The answer, the South St. Paul Armor Packers defeated Stillwater 6-5 at Lexington Park in St. Paul back in 1924. The Armors would win again in 1926, but Stillwater has not been in the championship game ever since. And yes, the Cold Spring Springers qualified for that tournament too, placing third. Welcome back to the NSPN Prep Update, coming to you this week from Chaska and the 103rd State Amateur Baseball Tournament. They're not only hosting, but the Chaska Cubs are in the tournament for the 42nd time, the second most in tournament history. NSPN's Tom Ritchie has been to many ball fields the past several years and was wondering how to get his grass looking game ready. He spent time in Perham with some grounds crew members to find out what it takes to keep a town ball field in shape and to keep the lights on.
This is Tom Ritchie, photojournalist for NSPN.TV. Over the past several years, working on many town ball games and tournaments, I became interested in how they keep the grass looking green and game ready. As I was spending some time in Perham, Minnesota for a recent town ball tournament, I spoke with a couple knowledgeable people about their field maintenance crew and volunteers.
We have a great group of people that put in a lot of hard hours and a lot of long time here to keep this field looking the way it has been, and they've done a lot of great work, a great group of people and volunteers that have done a lot of work.
There's a lot of things that go on in this field on the day-to-day operations. Crew of guys. Bob Shepard is the main one who leads the charge. He actually lives in the house right by the field at the main gate.
The volunteers has been kind of the unique part. We have to get a good group of people here that come in to help work. We see different ones all tournament long. Without them, this doesn't happen. We thank them for all their support. Perham has been one of the region hosts for at least as long as I've been here, and that's been 8 years, and I know they've hosted way before that. This field's been here since 1930, and it's seen a lot of baseball and a lot of iterations and a lot of different changes, and we're very proud of the fields that we have here in Perham.
Between games, it takes a lot. For the high school, we have double headers a lot of the times. As soon as that game is over, Bob is on the dragger to make sure. Gene or one of the other assistant coaches jump out there. We even have parents in the stands that know what they're doing. They'll grab rakes, rake the bullpens, re-chalk the baselines. So there's a lot of things that happen that people don't realize, in front of the game, in between, say, a doubleheader, but also after the game is over. All of those processes have to be redone. Who's here late at night? Who's up in the morning to make sure the field is in good shape? There's a lot of things that happen. You want every game to start as if it's the first game of the day. You want to be really, you want to have a fresh field. If I'm a ball player, you got 7 innings of baseball and hundreds upon hundreds of footsteps on the field. There's something to be said about having that 20 to 30 minute break in between games and then start the game fresh.
And one baseball field mystery is solved. How do they change the light bulbs?
Our fire department used to have a, 80-foot ladder. They no longer have it, and we, from what I understand, Al Kruger and Bob Shepard and some community members used to go up there in the fire truck ladder and change them out by hand themselves. I don't think Bob Shepard, and he would never put himself in front of a camera, and he doesn't want recognition. Bob Shepard, he does basically a thankless job. People don't realize the hours upon days, really, that he puts in. I think he's been there 40 years. He spent 30 or 40 years as kind of being the head groundskeeper.
Oh, we're grateful for all the fans in Perham and all the support that we receive in the baseball community. It's all the way through, from the youth all the way up to our amateur baseball team. We get a lot of support, and we're grateful for all of that.
This is Tom Ritchie, photojournalist for NSPN.TV, reporting.
Thanks, Tom. Let's check out some town ball highlights. Air Freight versus the Chaska Cubs. And our host for this week, looking to make some noise early, and small ball will do it. Hayden Anthony with a ground out, but it scores Wyatt Rogers, and the Cubs take a 2-0 lead. To the 6th inning, and Pat Fontaine with a runner at second, looking for his first hit of the game, and finds the gap between third and short. It's just deep enough to score Hayden Anthony, and the Cubs lead 4-0. That would be enough, as the Cubs advance with a 4-3 win over Air Freight, 29 wins for Chaska. They'll go for 30 as they advance to next week. The Luxembourg Brewers versus the St. Peter Saints. Tie score in the 8th inning until the Brewers load the bases for Easton Peters. and he delivers a blooper over first base into the outfield, scoring J.T. Heron, 3-2 Brewers. That would force a pitching change for St. Peter. Ben Tupi would come in for the Saints with one out and the bases still loaded, and on the first pitch from Tupi, Derek Orth would lift a sacrifice fly to right, scoring Tyler Stang and giving the Brewers a 4-2 lead. That's how it would end, as the Brewers advance to round 2. The Fairmont Martins versus the Chaska Cubs. Martins had the lead in the 7th and one on for Eli Anderson. He nearly doubles the lead with a 2-run home run, his 3rd hit of the game, and Fairmont leads 5-0. On to the 9th, and everyone loves the long ball, except maybe Quamba fans. Joey Chrissinger goes deep to left field with a 2-run shot of his own. Fairmont wins 7-0, the 4th shutout of the year for Martins pitchers, and win number 14 overall this season. The Clearwater River Cats versus the Windham Pirates. First ever trip to state for Clearwater, but it's Windham taking an early lead. Runner on second for Jake Towder. A single will score Chase McDaniel, and the Pirates score the first run of the game. Clearwater would come back, but as the home team on the scoreboard, the Pirates have the last chance. Bases loaded for Alex Fink, and how about this? Even with the infield in, the Pirates squeeze. Fink gets the clean bunt, and Tower scores the game winner. 3-2 Pirates, and Windham with their 24th win. They're a favorite to win it all. More highlights later in the show. It's been a good year for Minnesota baseball players. According to the Twins Almanac Facebook page, 15 people who graduated from Minnesota high schools were playing in the major leagues this season. Mounds View's Brett Bateman was the most recent to make the list, as he was called up from the AAA Buffalo Bisons to the Toronto Blue Jays on August 7th and made his debut against the Philadelphia Phillies. Bateman got his first MLB hit, a double, on the first MLB pitch he saw from Zach Wheeler in the game. 2023 Big Lake graduate Cade Layton has continued his cross-country career at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse after helping the Hornets to a state championship in 2021. But this offseason, he took a big swing and competed in the Ironman 70.3 in Omaha, Nebraska. That's a 1.2-mile swim, a 56-mile bike ride, and a 13.1-mile run. Layton took to the course on June 7th, and in his first ever triathlon, Layton won the event with a time of 4 hours, 4 minutes, and 30 seconds. That was just shy of 4.5 minutes faster than the rest of the field. And yes, he took a day off the following day. Only 5 Major League Baseball players have played all 9 positions in a single game. Cesar Tovar of the Twins was second ever to achieve the accomplishment in 1968. And Andrew Romine of the Tigers did it against the Twins in 2017. A Townball player from Greenwald did the same in July of this year. Justin Barrientos has more.
In Townball, you never know what is going to happen. Greenwald's Keegan Stevie played all 9 positions in a game, and he just happened to pick the game that New Munich also played all 9 members of the Funk family in the same game, making that game extra rare.
I had Brandon Worms, our other one of our other coaches, bring the lineup over because we started him at shortstop and he retired in 2019. So we also had a left-handed shortstop and a left-handed third baseman, which you probably don't ever see in a baseball game. So he brought that lineup over there, and they said, "Oh, we'll have something for you too." And then they brought theirs back over, and it was just a fun day at the ballpark.
Yeah, I was talked about for many years because I know about 4 or 5 years ago they said the only place I didn't play was first and pitcher. So that Saturday, the one guy's like, "You just rest up and you get ready to play all 9 tomorrow." I'm like, "Well, I plan on playing 9 innings, but whatever." He's like, "No, 9 positions. You're doing all of them." I said, "Okay."
Keegan brought up, I think, a week or so before at practice, so you want to play all 9, which I think we all kind of want to do, right? When you're playing Townball, it's kind of what you want to do. So I said, well, if we find the right game, and then we lost to El Rosa that Saturday before, and it just kind of was the right thing, and we got bit by the injury bug, so trust Keegan to not get hurt for 9 innings, or 8 innings in this case, and away we went. So it just kind of happened naturally, and just kind of a nice little thing.
Although it had been talked about and even somewhat planned, the experience of playing all 9 positions in a game almost didn't happen.
Well, there was a plan Saturday night that got changed because of injuries, and then there was a plan Sunday morning that got changed because of injuries. So it was just kind of he was going to start a catcher, and then everything else we were just going to kind of figure out as we went, and then finish on the mound, and we'll go from there.
The only position Stevie had never truly played was first base.
That's one spot that I haven't played, or even in like infield, outfield, keeping my foot on first, and that's about it on a ground ball. But there was one that was hit to center while I was there, and center fielder's like, because he's played first a couple times, and he's like, "You're supposed to be the cut." I'm like, "Yeah, well, it happens."
For such a unique experience, Stevie didn't have much to do during the game.
Well, I got one ground ball short. It was kind of up the middle diving play that just didn't really result in anything because it was a tough play. And then when I pitched, I got a comebacker to the mound right away, and that was about it for the action I seen all day.
Stevie didn't mind taking the mound at the end of the game, even though his experience there was limited.
I haven't been an avid pitcher. I've inning here or there. I think probably in my amateur career, it was all exhibition games or the non-league games. I think I had one other outing in the actual Stearns County League game against Spring Hill, and that was I think we were down by 8 or 9 runs, so then it was just some mop-up duty stuff. But so I've had a few outings, but nothing crazy.
And the final verdict on the experience?
Didn't make an error all day, so we did as good as could be expected, and he got that last out of that inning that we needed. So all in all, pretty good.
In my opinion, a lot of fun just because I've played just about everywhere, and to do it all in one game just is cherry on the top, I guess. I loved it. I would do it again.
Reporting from Greenwald, Justin Barrientos, NSPN.
Coming up, we'll talk a little basketball and the Gus Macker Tournament. And we head to the southeast edge of the Twin Cities with a school snapshot.
There's a new destination for all things Minnesota high school sports. It's called Strib Varsity. It's from the Minnesota Star Tribune, so you know it's trusted. With a deep bench to cover all of Minnesota. We've rebuilt and relaunched our MM Prep hubs and added more sports. Stories, streams, stats, scores, schedules. We have it all at Strib Varsity. Subscribe today at startribune.com/stribvarsity.
What's more fun than catching a game at the ballpark? Getting to said ballpark, on the other hand, could be an issue. Just one wrong turn, and suddenly, instead of the Mini-Met, you end up in Iowa. Well, thankfully, there's NSPN, so you can catch all the action in the neighborhood, even when you're not in the neighborhood. Catch all the action on NSPN, your neighborhood sports network.
Welcome back to the NSPN Prep Update here in Chaska, one of 4 host sites for this year's NBA State Tournament, along with Shakopee, New Prague, and Jordan. If memories of playing basketball at the playground bring a smile to your face, you'd fit right in at Gus Macker, the biggest outdoor basketball gathering in the state. Mike Peden covered this year's tournament at North Hennepin Community College, where the fun came first.
In a time where everyone is seemingly jostling for offers, rankings, and recognition, the Gus Macker 3-on-3 tournaments recall the days where fun takes priority.
I'm actually loving it. It's way better than I expected. The Gus Macker, it's like 3-on-3, except it's fun. There's lots of people I know.
Just the atmosphere of it all, so fun. Everyone's so happy. It's great because we can kind of put away like the school rivalries and just play basketball.
Just being able to see, the youth come out here and play, even, the old heads come out and, just do what they love. And that's what basketball's for, is just to have fun. It don't matter what age you are.
For most participants, the transition from 5-on-5 to 3-on-3 is quite illuminating.
It's a lot tougher to get open shots, so you kind of have to make contact and bump people, then try to get an open shot through doing that.
You have a lot more space on 3-on-3, so that gives me a lot of room to make some 3-pointers.
Izzy flexed her long-range 4 in the inaugural women's 3-point shootout. The incoming 6th grader drained 7 triples, including all 5 money rack shots, to beat a field of finalists that featured women more than twice her age.
I was so nervous that I really couldn't see the rim, so I just hoped for the best.
Izzy banked $500 for her sharpshooting blitz, and it didn't take long to draw up a spending play.
I'm going to get some ice cream and go school shopping.
Izzy wasn't the only girl making waves. Ronnie Porter took the court as the lone woman in the annual celebrity game.
I'm never scared of anything, not a challenge. Not men, for one. I'm not scared to, play against any men, women. So, just being able to go in there with open arms, they passed me the ball. I was able to shoot because they respected my game.
The graduate of Como Park and Wisconsin brought her A game to lift her team to victory, and she's ready for more.
Since this was the first time, it was a great time, and I think next year I'm going to actually try to get into the tournament and play the 3-on-3 so I can be on this court in the championship game of the top women's bracket. So that's the plan.
Everyone we spoke to hopes you'll make plans to attend next year.
Really well organized, it's really fun, and lots of competition at all levels.
We got different type of communities coming in as one, and we need more things like this more often throughout the year. More Gus Mackers, more than one time throughout the year.
You guys have to do it.
In Brooklyn Park, I'm Mike Peden for NSPN.
Thanks, Mike. More Townball highlights. Starbuck Stars versus the Cortland Cubs. And moonlight felt right for Starbuck in the fourth inning. Bases loaded with Mitch Gruber up. Hard hit ball to short. Andrew Peters makes the nice stop for the Cubs, but Austin Versteeg scores 2-0 Stars. Starbuck would get 4 runs that inning. Bases loaded again in the ninth, and a slim lead. Up and in to Noah Jensen. Darian Alexander will score on the wild pitch as Starbuck goes on to win 8-5. Starbuck moves on to the second round, and the Cubs head for hibernation. The Buckman Billy Goats versus the Red Wing Aces. Buckman would take advantage of some early errors to grab control. First inning, runners at first and second for Noah Bozer. Base hit to left field. Matt Tauchis held initially at third, but the throw home goes high to the backstop, and Tauchis is sent in for the game's first run. Top of 4, bases loaded for the Billy Goats, and Matt Tauchis again figures into the mix. This time, a fielder's choice scores Jack Suska and a 5-0 lead. Buckman holds on to win 6-4 and move to the second round of the playoffs. The Nisswa Lightning versus the LeSueur Braves. Nisswa jumps out to an early lead. Drew Bolin with runners at first and second, and a solid hit to center, and 45-year-old Jeremiah Pipcorn scores from second on the single, just beating the throw home, and Nisswa out to a 2-0 lead. We jump to the end to highlight some great pitching. Isaiah Bain and Blaine Hardy split the game on the mound, scattering 11 hits and giving up just 1 run as Nisswa advances with a 3-1 win. The El Rosa Saints versus the Pierce Brewers. A simple mistake was all it took for El Rosa to get an advantage. Ashton Dingman at the plate in the first with a high fly to center, misplayed, allowing Ethan Mueller to come around and score from first base, and the Saints lead 1-0. Second inning, and Jackson Peters brings the Saints fans to their feet with a 2-run home run to deep left field. And that was just a continuation of the offense. Saints win this one 10-5 for their 24th win. The Laverne Redbirds versus the Dumont Saints. Saints up 1-0 in the third. Teague Nabor grounds it to the hole on the left side, fielded with a nice backhand, but the throw skips past the first baseman. Eli Larson scampers home, 2-0 Dumont. Dumont keeps the small ball going in the sixth. Patrick Kuzats drops the perfect squeeze bunt. Neighbor scores easily. The Saints march to a 2-run lead, and that's how it ends. Dumont with a 3-1 win as they advance into next week's second round. For more on the state amateur tournament, check out Amateur Baseball Today on NSPN or the MBA YouTube page. NSPN will continue to stream the Minnesota Amateur Baseball Tournament. Week 2 gets underway this Friday. The Minnesota Amateur Baseball Hall of Fame announced the recipients of the 2026 Glenn Carlson Award. This year's recipients are Tom Elliott and Elroy Weed Bidlin. Elliott, originally from New York City, moved to Minnesota in 1974 and attended South St. Paul High School. He has been a journalist for almost 50 years, including 34 years at the St. Cloud Times. He is currently the editor of the West Central Tribune in Wilmer, a job he's held since 2019. Elliott has won 75 state and national writing awards and has been inducted into 5 other halls of fame. Vidland is a native of Watertown, Minnesota, and was a member of the Watertown Red Devils from 1943 to 1967, and spent his final 4 seasons as a player-manager. He also has over 25 years of experience as an umpire. He also served on the Watertown City Council from 1969 through 81, where he was able to keep the Highland Park Ballpark in place when the city was looking to sell the land for a housing development. Vidland passed away in 2014 at the age of 87. Standout girls basketball player Chloe Johnson announced that she will transfer this season from Duluth Marshall to Proctor. Johnson will be going into her junior year this season. According to the Minnesota Star-Tribune, only 2 players were on the Hilltopper roster following the departure of girls basketball head coach DJ Osuchukwu. Johnson averaged 31 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals for the Hilltoppers last season, helping Duluth Marshall to a runner-up finish in Class 2A, their first trip to state since 2021. Johnson has been a highly recruited player, being named the number 2 prospect across the country in the class of 2028 by ESPN. She will join a Proctor Rails program that was 20-9 under head coach Matt Solberg last season. 1 week of the NBA state tournament is in the books, but here's what's coming up this week on NSPN. We're back to high school sports, starting on Thursday with 3 great games out of the gate. Boys soccer, Hill Murray at Cretin-Durham Hall. Girls soccer, Bloomington Jefferson at Park. And volleyball, Apple Valley at New Prague. On Saturday, boys soccer, Minnetonka is at Woodbury. And of course, we'll still stick to Townball as we've got more state tournament action Thursday through Sunday. It's time for our school snapshot. That's where we get to know the towns, schools, and communities outside the playing field. This week, we stay right here in Chaska to visit the private school in town. Southwest Christian High School is located in Chaska, 28 miles southwest of Minneapolis. The school was started in 1996 in humble beginnings, renting space in Minnetonka. 7 students graduated in 1999 in the first commencement ceremony held at the school. The next year, Southwest Christian had their first home of their own, converting warehouse space into a high school. That's where classes were held until their first permanent home was completed in 2012. Several expansions have happened since for the 548 students currently enrolled. Students follow the values of the school: truth, discipleship, excellence, college preparation, and community. For the college prep part, Southwest Christian offers 81 college credits on campus, allowing students to get ready for post-secondary education. They even partner with Northwestern in St. Paul and Crown College for college classes on campus taught by Southwest Christian faculty. In athletics, 24 sports are offered between boys and girls programs, and the Stars have earned 2 team state championships, in addition to an individual champ in the summer of 2025 when freshman Ryder Rose won the Class 2A boys golf title while his team finished 3rd. That's it for this episode of the NSPN Prep Update. Special thanks to everyone here in Chaska and the NBA for welcoming us this week. Next week, we'll continue our Townball coverage in New Prague for the second weekend of competition, and we'll start the high school sports season. Our producer is Justin Barrientos, editor Jake Loftus. Our creative director is Hannah Strenger. For Mike Peden, Tom Ritchie, and the rest of our NSPN team, I'm Ryan Phelps, saying so long from the Neighborhood Sports Network.